MTD Podcast. Hi, I'm Colin Griffiths. I run MTD Network, which actively promotes engineers. I actually joined the engineering industry 5-6 years ago when I saw the light, and every day is a learning experience. I have to say that. And as part of that learning experience, we're at S. Lilley & Sons in Birmingham. Now, Birmingham used to be called the Workshop of the World. We are joined by Craig Lilley from S. Lilley & Son Limited.
Hello.
Craig, what is your position, first of all?
I'm officially quality director at the company. Yeah.
Quality director. Well, what I've seen so far, quality is not an issue here, absolutely. And to keep it authentic, we're actually recording this in the machine shop. So if there is some background noise, it's because they're working away.
Yeah, keep it
but
authentic.
People who don't know S. Lilley & Son, just briefly, a bit of history. And well, a bit of history. You've got a lot of history.
It has, yeah. Well, started around the 1840s. At the time, we were started making parts for the then railway industry. And then from there it's progressed onto contactors and things when early electricity came about in the early 1900s, I guess, and then made crystal radio sets, and then we moved into architectural hardware as lighting took hold, and we've been making lamp holders, lighting accessories ever since.
Lumieres, as your
Lumieres,
I think it's your cousin, because you're sixth generation Lilley.
I am sixth generation, yeah.
Okay, and it's very modest about it, but some of the components, I mean, the explosives on the railway track, I'm thinking what's going on there, but that was warning systems.
That's right, yeah. So when trains were approaching either stations or level crossings and things like that, it was a warning system to let the train driver know that it was approaching those, or for the people who are at the level crossings to know that there's a train approaching. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, and you also mentioned crystal. I mean, this podcast is really about automation. I'm going to say through the ages, but
yeah.
Another really, it is an audio program, but the radio set you showed us earlier, absolutely fantastic. Produce that here?
Yes, absolutely. So all the electrical parts within the crystal radio set were produced by ourselves. I think the box itself was made by someone else, to be honest. But yeah, we put all those together and packaged them up and sent them off. Yeah. And
deadly serious, all powered by crystal.
Indeed.
Brilliant, absolutely fantastic stuff. But automation through the ages. Now, obviously, some of the machines don't date back to the 1840s as such, but you've got some cracking machines here. I'm going to talk about the first one, or ask you about the first one. The Platage, is that correct?
It is, yeah. So that's a transfer press. There's various different types of platages and a number of stages that they have, but we happen to run 3 different platages at this factory. A couple of the smaller ones not so often, but the larger one produces a lot of our luminaires, lighting components. So yeah, it's used very regularly.
Okay, and with these presses, I mean, I'm looking at these components and thinking, why can't you all manufacture it basically in one off on a slider, for example?
Well, for parts that the platage produces, they are rattling off 1 a second when it's set up correctly. Tooling is expensive in the first place, but the speed with which it produces the components, because it's a multi-stage press, is you can't beat it. Certainly on a slider.
1 a second.
Yeah, quite easily. Yeah.
And in terms of operation, how many operations? I mean, the larger machine, how much will it press, and how many operations will it actually do?
Well, every time it rotates, it does 12 operations because it's a 12-stage press. So obviously, you feed in the brass strip at one end, and for every rotation, a component pops out the other end. But it's obviously gone through 12 operations previously.
And for those who, I mean, myself, I said it's an educational time, why can't you press it all in one hit?
The brass just won't form to the depths required in one blow. You have to do it stage by stage so that you don't get cracking on the components and put excess stresses in the material. I mean, they all have to go off for heat treating afterwards just to anneal them and even out the crystal structure in the material, I suppose. So it's not hasn't got all those stresses in it and then starts cracking afterwards.
Right, okay, interesting stuff. And to watch it actually run is phenomenal. I'm afraid it's not great for a podcast. It isn't, but it really is interesting. Now, another one is, that's sort of your pressing side. You do a lot of turning as well. One of your older machines, Brown and Sharp?
That's right. We used to run a lot of Brown and Sharp single spindle automatics. Early days of automation with bar work. So you'd manually load the bar into the machine. Obviously, you'd have all the tooling set up within it, and then it would clunk away, produce the parts until that bar's gone, and then obviously have to load it up with a new bar.
Right. And what sort of length bar?
Well, I suppose theoretically you could put any length in it, but obviously we normally use 3 metre bars.
Okay, yeah, I mean, we do travel around quite a few machine shops. We've seen one or two sort of pipes and tubes cobbled together and universal joints holding it together to extend those bars, but 3 metre bar. But is it, I mean, these are cam autos.
Yeah.
Actually setting the machine, is it easy or is that skill dying?
Well, yes, unfortunately that skill is dying. It's an area where we've not been able to find sufficient skill base to be able to continue to use those machines. And that's what's prompted us to move over to CNC.
Yeah.
So obviously the Brown and Sharps are disappearing out the shop. In fact, we're only left with one now.
Right, because you had, how many did you have?
I'm not sure of the exact number, but it was definitely around 20 originally.
Down to the final one.
Down to the final
you should keep
one.
it for a bit of history, maybe.
Well, maybe.
Have it
Got
again.
space.
Not great for a podcast, but looking. I mean, we've been around the machine shop, steeped in history. Some fantastic things going on. Even a picture of the gentleman who started the whole thing,
Simeon Lilley. Yeah.
Who I understand died in a pauper's grave. Well, he didn't die in a pauper. He ended up in a pauper's grave. Did you know? A bit of history there.
Yeah.
So,
apparently.
but obviously. Something was very successful because it's still here now.
Yeah,
and
still going.
How many parts do you reckon you're manufacturing per year?
Roughly.
Roughly.
Roughly, of our own components, we reckon around about 4 million parts a year, and then on top of that, we do subcontract parts.
Blimey, so that's key to why you need the automation.
Definitely, yeah, absolutely. It's certainly with the CNCs, it allows lights out running, which obviously with the old automated machines, the Brown and Sharps things, we couldn't get.
And these parts are going just UK or?
No, worldwide. So we've got quite a large customer base in New Zealand, Australia, a lot of Europe, and then we've got a few. I think we've got a customer in Vietnam.
Oh, right.
A few America. South America is one we've not actually managed to get into.
You haven't conquered that one yet, but
no.
Watch your space. So they might have a light bulb moment coming soon. Sorry about that. That's a dreadful pun. I do apologise. Anyway, moving on swiftly. So you've got Platage, your Brown and Sharp, CNC.
Yep.
When did you move into CNC?
First one we got in 2004. It was an old Miano, second-hand Miano we bought.
And then why did you choose that type of machine?
Well, we didn't know a great deal about it. Done some research. We'd heard that the Miano was a rare find when it came up second-hand, and we heard they were a good machine at the time. And we spotted this one, went to view it, and thought, let's go for it. And that's where it all started off.
And you haven't looked back since. So
No.
just trying to count up 7, 8 CNC sliders or fixed heads.
I've got 10 in total now.
My count is obviously not very good.
Yeah, we've got 10 in total. So we've got 3 fixed heads, and then the rest are sliders or variants of.
Okay. When you say the fixed head ones, obviously you mentioned a Miano. You've also got a CMZ. What does that? What function does that serve?
Well, for us, the CMZ provides us with a much larger capacity machine. So that one in particular will do up to 65mm bar. All the work we do is bar work. We don't really do billet work. And so it just enables us, to do some of the component parts that we need for our range that require that larger bar size, machine size. And then obviously subcontract as well, we can then offer larger parts as a result.
You find time to subcontract as well as making all those parts?
We certainly try to.
Okay. Well, I suppose having these CNC machines is giving you that capacity.
Exactly, and changeover times and everything else, it enables us to get these subcontract work through at the same time.
Okay, and then the sliders, I mean, looking around the machine shop here, because I said we're keeping it authentic, we are in the machine shop. I mean, you've got a number of Citizen Syncom sliders, for example, A20 I can see over my shoulder.
Yeah.
Why have you gone that route?
We like the control system. The service we've had from Citizen's been very good, and they're a good, solid, reliable machine.
What more do you want, really?
Exactly, yeah.
But I'm thinking, in terms of what you're machining, materials-wise, it's not.
No, it's not stressful on the machines. To be honest with you, mostly it's brass, occasionally aluminiums, and then occasionally we dip into mild steels and stainlesses. Right.
So it's about I'm assuming, accuracy and speed then.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Okay, so a lot of, automation. I mean, the Brown and Sharp 70s, the Platage 60s, I'm throwing out there.
Yeah, that's right. So I think the one Brown and Sharp we got left is a 1970s machine at best. The Platages are all 60s machines.
Right. So still going strong now. But what I'm leading up to is that you've got these machines, you've invested in the CNC going forward.
Yeah.
and you haven't got the skill set in terms of setting those old machines anyway, because everybody wants to get on a computer and do CAD and the like.
A lot of people do these days, yeah.
They don't want to get their hands dirty anymore, do
Yeah.
they?
No.
Where to next then?
Well, automation-wise, that's a tricky one. We have considered robots, but we have a bit of a space issue here in the factory, not a lot of room, and of course you've got to give those robots space to swing around, haven't you? But otherwise, we've got some old capstan lathes. Don't think we've found an alternative for that in terms of automation for what we do. Maybe we need to look at redesigning some of the parts we produce so that they can be done on CNC. But otherwise, yeah, there's still a lot that we need the capstans for.
So interesting concept though. So you've got the opportunity there to redesign and potentially look at other machining alternatives. But these old capstan, Ward capstan, aren't they? I think
they are
still.
Yeah, they're 50s machines. I think those even older.
Brilliant, Craig. It's a great story. It really is interesting, and how automation has helped you. Well, for the last 60 years, by my simple maths, if not longer. And a great story. So it's S. Lilley and Son in what was the machine shop of the world.
Well, we're still trying to maintain that.
Great. Craig, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for listening to the MTD podcast. If you found value in this episode, please subscribe and leave a rating and review. Find more episodes on MTDCNC.com.